from you. Hi? No! Okay, I was just checking if you're still listening. Anyway, I am Marville Espago, and it would be best for you to know that I would be the last speaker. Okay. I'm from the International Seafarers Welfare Assistance Network, or ISWAN. And it was nice to know that a few of our stakeholders are using our data actually about mental health, so that's a good thing. So I'll be using my time to share a bit of an insight on maritime mental health. Now, I'm not gonna delve so much on the meaning of mental health. What you're seeing now on screen is the meaning of mental health according to the World Health Organization. But I would delve on this phrase, a state of well-being. Mental health is a state of well-being. To provide a better imagery for this, as we all know, like the states of matter, liquid, gas, and solid, they all are prone to change, right, through process. Our mental health is also the same, being that it's a state of well-being. It also lies in a continuum or a scale, wherein our mental state at a given time fluctuates through this scale from having a possible optimal mental well-being to possibly gaining or contracting some mental disorder or mental condition. Now, to prove the normalcy of mental health disorders, now I also have heard from Dr. Jimenez, the facts, we've all heard it. But the normalcy, at least on our studies, is that 1 out of 4 people will experience or have experienced a mental health condition throughout their lives. So it's as normal as that. Imagine 25% of us here will experience or have experienced a mental health condition. That may not be a long-term and enduring mental health condition like depression, long-term depression, or schizophrenia, but it can exacerbate to that. It can be as severe as that if left unchecked. Our data trends on ISWAN, we saw, at least for our helpline trends, we saw a peak in mental health helpline-related concerns during the pandemic. We all know why this is the case because of the crew change crisis, problems with repatriation, but we also saw an increase or a peak during the Ukrainian and Russian war. This just means that these global events can also impact the seafarers' well-being, and because of possibly the precarity of the job as well. So it also impacts how the seafarers perceive the maritime industry as a whole or as a career. A very recent study, at least from our quarter-to-quarter helpline trends, we saw a 37%. This was actually discussed by Captain Akshan, so thank you for lessening my duty to explain this one. But we also saw an increase in mental health-related concerns by 37%. That's from quarter 1 to quarter 2 of this year. And we checked what are the common drivers of mental health-related concerns. 18% of it, at least on quarter 2, is about family and relationship issues. And it's quite nice to know, at least in the morning, I heard that some of our LMAs are gearing towards family welfare activities and departments. We are now empowering our family members that they have a role to play with the upkeep of the mental health of their seafarers and other issues like ambulance chasing. You know, we should empower our family members and the people that surround our seafarers because they do impact our seafarers' mental health and well-being. Quite really calling data to know is that abuse, bullying, harassment, and discrimination, or ADHD, forms 16% of our mental health concern. Another point of information about ADHD is that it's our top 1 mental health concern for female seafarers. So for female seafarers, they are contacting our helplines because of abuse, bullying, harassment, and discrimination. And that's our data for the entire year last year, 2022. And that's also the top 1 concern in the young crew industry. So very appalling data on ADHD. And I didn't have enough space to put it in here in the slide, but 14% of our mental health concerns were about repatriation or seafarers feeling homesick. It's also a good point of contention, the Seafarer Happiness Index score. So it was also shown a while ago, this morning. there's like a 1 point decrease in seafarer happiness. And there's this old adage that happiness is a choice. And I don't want to leave you with just those appalling numbers about the industry. I am a former seafarer, and personally, I would say that the seafaring career, at least on my end, it was a very purposeful and enjoyable experience for me. So, despite the disadvantages and despite the stressors that we heard throughout the day, the seafaring career can be a beautiful one, you know. And I'm leaving you with some ways to cope with stressors. Of course, stressors are gonna be there. There are latent things that are there in our lives, throughout our lives. So what are the things that you can do? So B, we have this acronym on ISWAN, BASES. B for body. So anything that you do to your body takes a toll on your mental well-being or mental health. So it was discussed a while ago. Sleep was discussed a while ago. And of course, proper exercise. Food was also discussed throughout the day. And then, of course, for seafarers, it's a good reminder for us to take our rest hours. You know, maximize our rest hours. Allocate some time for internet, yes, but also use rest hours as rest hours. So you have to rest, take sleep. Okay, achievement. Achievement is about setting achievable goals, both short-term and long-term. So for seafarers, it would be wise for us. I remember when I was a cadet, I was told by our deck cadet instructor to always bring a tickler. And then in that tickler, I put my tasks throughout the day. And then every time I tick off a task, it feels as if I'm more productive, I'm doing things. And then, of course, we also have to have long-term goals. Because seafarers, sometimes we are tunnel vision with our lives at sea. And sometimes we forget that we should also look far beyond. So far beyond what's gonna be after my contract. So for example, you wanna be a captain someday, you wanna take master's or doctorate's degree, or what's your life gonna be after seafaring? Because you're not gonna stay there, of course. You're gonna be retired at some point. So what's your life after seafaring? So we also have to take purposeful steps towards that goal, so that at least when we look back, like a year ago, or possibly a few years ago, we saw that, you know, you can see that you have made some strides towards that goal. Now, C, connection. So it's very self-explanatory to build meaningful connections with your crewmates on board the ship. For upper management, it's a good reminder for you to create platforms and activities where your crew members can build meaningful connections and can connect with each other. And of course, do not forget your loved ones ashore. So yeah, always connect with them as well. Enjoyment. Enjoyment is about doing things that make you happy. So we always ask this during our PDOS with seafarers. What are your hobbies, your interests? So they usually say playing games, reading books, taking pictures. So if those are the things that make you happy, allocate some time for that. Also prepare for that. So if you are enjoying like reading books and you did not read books on board the ship, so how's that gonna make you feel, right? So you have to prepare for the things that you do enjoy. So at least when you're on board, you can take some time of your rest hours and enjoy, you know, and partake in those hobbies and interests. Step back. So my fellow psychologists have mentioned, you know, some introspection and learning from the past. Step back is that. So you have to allocate some time to engage in mindfulness activities and look back. How's my day like? What things can I improve throughout the day? What are the things that made me stressed this day? And what are the things that I can do tomorrow to prevent yourself from feeling stressed? Next. And of course, mental health conditions is sometimes inevitable, you know. No matter how you safeguard yourself, no matter how you try all those bases, there are times wherein, you know, a fellow seafarer or you might experience some struggles. And us in ISWAN, we have a free 24/7 confidential and multilingual helpline called Seafarer Help. You can access that through our website, www.seafarerhelp.org. I'm also going to show you some channels later on where you can access that. But then again, it's a reminder for us that when we do feel struggle or someone we know feels struggle and we see it, we contact our helpline, or if they want or you want an in-person or port-based help or assistance, we have other welfare organizations which can accommodate that, like Apostleship of the Sea, Mission to Seafarers, ICMA, or Sailor Society. Now, I mentioned to you Seafarer Help contact details. We do have a few contact channels that some of you might want to peruse or use later on. For our fellow seafarers, take a snapshot. I'm hoping that you will post this on your bulletin boards when you're on board the vessels. You might not know that you are able to save a life, right? For maritime stakeholders, this is a free helpline that you can use. And okay, now I'm gonna end my presentation and I'd like to thank you for allowing us to speak. Thank you.